Hey everyone, and welcome back to AI Podcast. Brian here, and we're diving into something pretty huge today. It's Elon Musk's xAI and their new AI, Grok 2.
Oh yeah, things are heating up in the AI world, and Grok 2 is a big reason why.
Definitely. Imagine an AI that can tell you what's trending on X, like right now.
Real-time learning is a game changer, and that's exactly what Grok 2 is bringing to the table.
It feels like Musk is taking on the big guys like ChatGPT head on.
Oh, absolutely. He's never been one to sit on the sidelines, and with Grok 2, he's making a statement.
So to understand Grok 2, we need to rewind a bit, right?
Yeah, let's go back to the beginning. Musk and OpenAI have a long history. He co-founded it, but then became pretty critical of their direction.
Especially after they partnered with Microsoft.
Exactly. That's when he founded xAI. He wanted to build AI that was aligned with his vision.
So it's Musk versus OpenAI and Microsoft. Classic rivalry.
Totally. And Grok is right in the middle of it all. Remember Grok 1.0?
Oh yeah, their first chatbot. The one that was integrated with X.
That was just the beginning. Grok 2 is a whole other level.
Okay, so let's get technical. What makes Grok 2 different?
Well, for one, it learns in a completely different way. ChatGPT and others, they're trained on these static data sets, right? But Grok 2 is constantly learning from X, from the live feed.
Wow, so it's like it has its finger on the pulse of social media, constantly evolving.
Exactly. That means it has access to the very latest info, but, there are some concerns about reliability and bias, too.
Yeah, X can be a bit of a wild place sometimes. Not always the most reliable source of information.
True. But then there's the scale of it. Grok 2 is rumored to have billions of parameters, even more than ChatGPT.
More parameters. Does that mean it's like having a brain with billions of connections?
You got it. It can understand language in a much more nuanced way.
So not just fast, but smart.
Exactly. And Musk has said he wants AI to be engaging, even fun. And you can see that with Grok 2.
Oh yeah, it's way more witty and edgy than, say, ChatGPT.
Right. It's a completely different vibe.
I guess that could be appealing to some users. But are there any risks with that approach?
There are some. If it gets too edgy, it might turn off some users who want something more, professional.
Makes sense. So real-time learning, massive scale, and personality.
Hmm.
How does Grok 2 compare to the big names like ChatGPT-4, DeepSeek, and Claude 2?
It's tricky to compare, really. They're all coming at it from different angles. OpenAI and Anthropic, they use these carefully curated data sets. But Grok 2, it's all about X, the real-time data. And then you've got DeepSeek, which is trained mostly on Chinese web data.
So from the get-go, they're learning from different sources, which is going to shape their capabilities.
Yeah,
And probably their biases, too.
definitely. And then there's the whole personality thing. ChatGPT 4 and Claude 2 are very neutral, safe, But Grok 2, it's playful, maybe even a bit provocative. It's shaking things up for sure.
Okay, let's break it down. Strengths, weaknesses. What are Grok 2's?
Well, that real-time access to X, that's huge. You could ask it about something trending right now and get the very latest info.
That's impressive. But what about the downsides?
Well, there's that risk of bias and misinformation, right? Because X, it's not always accurate. Grok 2 could end up presenting something false as fact.
It sounds like a trade-off. Pushing the boundaries comes with risks.
Right. And it's still early days. It's not as widely used as ChatGPT, especially in businesses. And there's not much transparency, We don't really know how it works under the hood.
So powerful, but with some big questions hanging over it. Let's zoom out a bit. What's Musk's big plan with Grok 2? How does it fit into his vision for AI?
Well, it's a direct challenge to OpenAI and Microsoft, isn't it? Musk wants AI to be less censored, more aligned with his views.
Classic Musk disrupting the industry.
Absolutely. And it's all tied in with X. You don't have to go somewhere else to use it. It's right there in X Premium.
Smart move. Get people subscribing.
Right. And don't forget about AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. Musk wants to build AGI that's aligned with human values. And Grok 2 could be a step towards that.
So Grok 2 is more than just a chatbot. It's part of a bigger ambition.
Exactly. And there's that hint of open sourcing, too. They've said they might open source parts of their technology, which would be a huge shift for the industry.
It would be. But can xAI really compete with the giants, especially with funding?
That's a big challenge. OpenAI has Microsoft's backing, all that cloud power. xAI is having to get creative, using Tesla's Dojo supercomputer, partnering with NVIDIA.
Resourceful, but still up against it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We can't ignore the controversy either. What are some of the key concerns about Grok 2 and xAI?
Data privacy is a big one. Scraping all that data from X, it raises questions about consent and how that information might be used. And then there's the question of bias. Will Grok 2 really be neutral, or will it lean towards Musk's views?
Oh, potential for misuse, and the question of bias is a big one.
Definitely. And then there's the business side of it. Can they actually make this work financially? Can they compete with OpenAI and Google in the long run?
It's a super expensive game. And risky too, right? Given Musk's style, there's a good chance of lawsuits, maybe over data use, bias, or the stuff Grok 2 generates.
It's a real minefield. So where do we go from here? What's next for Grok and xAI?
That's the big question. What do you think the future holds?
Well, Grok 3 is probably already in the works, right? Maybe with voice, video, images. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it integrated with Tesla's AI. Think robots, self-driving cars, that sort of thing.
Wow, that's mind-blowing.
And of course, the competition is only going to heat up. GPT-5 is coming. Google's got Gemini. It's an AI arms race.
It's all happening so fast. It
Yeah.
feels like we've covered a lot today, but there's so much more to explore.
We've only scratched the surface.
Well, Kathy, it's been fantastic exploring this with you. Thanks for joining me.
The pleasure was all mine, Brian.
And to our listeners, thanks for tuning in to AI Podcast.
Keep learning, keep questioning, and keep those algorithms humming.
We'll be back tomorrow evening with a whole new deep dive into the world of AI. See you then.